Hi guys. All right, today we're gonna try and keep it quick, simple, and just straight to the point. Today we're gonna be making chicken quarters, okay? For those of you who don't know what chicken quarters, okay, it's the combined chicken piece of a chicken leg and a chicken thigh, okay? A lot of people are kind of very skeptical about it because it's a lot of bones, a lot of stuff going on there. To me, this is one of the best things you can get out of chicken. It's all dark meat. It's got a ton of nice crispy skin. It's very versatile, very versatile. A lot you can do with it. And it's pretty simple. So what we're gonna do today, we've got our oven preset 425, okay? We're gonna try and do this as a one and done kind of meal for you guys. We're gonna take the chicken quarters, we're gonna get them seasoned, we're gonna mix them with a little onion, a little potato. We're gonna make a quick dry rub with some very, very simple seasoning, salt, pepper, paprika. I'm gonna show you guys how to basically chop some herbs real quick. Very simple. We're just gonna use thyme, we're gonna use rosemary, and oil. That's about it, okay? In all, this meal will take about 50 minutes to an hour, okay? We're gonna try and just get it done very quick. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the vegetables, okay? We're gonna kind of work backwards a little bit. If I start with the chicken, that means I've gotta clean everything up, sanitize, just so I can make sure that the vegetables are fine. So we're gonna work backwards. We're gonna work with the vegetables and the herbs, make our dry rub, things like that, and then move on to the chicken. That way I just have to do one cleanup, one and done, okay? I'm gonna try and keep this as simple as I possibly can for you guys. So I'm gonna move the chicken quarters right over here. First thing we're gonna start with is some potatoes, okay? Potatoes are wonderful, one of my favorite foods. All you really have to do with these, okay guys, take them, I'm gonna cut them in half, and I'm gonna kind of cut them into some nice, decent sized chunks here, okay? Really it comes down to however big you want the potatoes. They're all gonna cook about the same. You don't have to use any kind of specific potato. If you've got an Idaho potato, a Yukon Gold potato, use whatever you want. Potatoes all have different flavors. They all have different moisture contents, starch contents. The great thing is you can kind of work with all of them. When it comes to a simple oven roast, I like to use an Idaho. Just because it kind of turns out the best in the oven, at least for my opinion. So, what we're going to do here, take our potatoes, get them into a bowl, okay, and you can cut them however you want, whatever general size. If you want a nice, like, almost half potato, okay,
now connected to desktop.
Cut them just like that. You can season them the same, and they're gonna cook about the same, okay? With this size of a potato, it's gonna get a really nice kind of crispy exterior. It's gonna be almost kind of like a just baked potato. Gives you a little bit of options there, okay? So, we're gonna add those into our bowl. We're gonna take our onions. Best way to do this, cut the ends off of your onions. Okay, then we're gonna go right in the trash, clean up a little bit of our skins here. All right, then what I'm gonna recommend is if you look at your onion, you've got a little bit of a core right here in the middle, okay? Cut right down the center of that. Okay, kind of helps hold your onion all together. And we're gonna treat these just like the potatoes, guys. Okay, we're gonna peel our skins. And we're gonna try and keep them kind of about the same size. Great thing with these onions, as they break down, their moisture content kind of starts to sweeten up. And it's a great little thing. These are gonna get really nice and dark in that oven while that chicken is cooking, okay? It's gonna be a beautiful little thing. So what we're gonna do, once you get all your skins peeled off here, okay, I'm gonna take it, I'm just gonna cut it right in half, just like I did the potato, and kind of just chunk them out about the same size. This will just give us a nice little starch and vegetable to go with our chicken here. right down the center. they don't have to be perfectly the same size as your potatoes, okay? All onions are going to be different sizes, things like that. So just kind of get as close as you can. Now, what we're going to do next, we've got some fresh rosemary. And we've got some fresh thyme, okay? When it comes to herbs, things like that, you can use dried herbs. In my opinion, not even close to the same. Especially when you're cooking a raw meat, I almost always prefer a fresh herb. The flavor profile is just completely different. So, when you've got your rosemary and your thyme, a lot of people don't really know what to do with them. They're like, what are these leafy things sitting on my cutting board right now? They're pretty simple. Don't get too scared by them. When you've got your rosemary, all you have to do to clean it off, hold it upside down. When rosemary grows, it grows like this. You're just going to hold it upside down, start at the top here, okay, and just run your hand down the stem, and it's going to pick all of those leaves right off. Look how bare that is, okay? Towards the end here, you can kind of pick off the leftovers. And then for our thyme, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're just going to flip it upside down and grab all those little tiny leaves right off of there. Okay, it's very quick, very easy. It's a very, very simple process, okay? And great thing about fresh herbs, when you start doing this, you will automatically smell them, okay? Because you're breaking up the oils inside of there that's releasing the aroma that you're smelling, okay? And it's a world of difference between fresh and dry. I promise you guys, if you've never really tried cooking with just fresh herbs, okay, this changes everything. And it's a very, very simple thing. You can usually get like a small package of herbs at your local store, really for just a couple bucks. And a little bit of herbs goes a long way. So finish off with the thyme here. Just grab all of those leaves, okay? If you see something like that where a stem comes through, okay, you don't really want to cook the stems. They just harden up and they get really terrible eating. So just try and kind of save any of those that you possibly can and keep them out of your dry rub. So we've got all of our leaves off. Okay, we'll save those for later. Now all you have to do, okay, is just chop them, okay? My best recommendation, take your knife, okay, get a good hold on it, keep one hand on the top, and just kind of let the knife do the work. Rock it, okay, using this hand as kind of like a pivot, and just kind of let the knife do the work as you chop. And it doesn't have to be like anything crazy. You're gonna cut through the herbs pretty nicely as long as your knife is sharp, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna combine this with our dry rub over here. We'll add that to our potatoes and our onions, and then we're just gonna get this stuff onto a sheet tray. Bake it all, 425. It's gonna take about 40 minutes in the oven, guys, okay? Chicken, you want it to be a final temperature of 165. Great thing about chicken quarters, you can actually go a little bit above that, okay? You don't have to be so worried about overcooking it. What a lot of people don't know, when it comes to chicken quarters, they actually kind of break down a little bit the higher temperature they are. Of course, you can get to a certain point once you get past like 180, 185, it starts to dry out, okay? But when you hit that like 170 and 170 to that 190 range, it's kind of your sweet spot, okay? Kind of starts to break down and make that dark meat a little bit more tender. It's already great. If you like dark meat, then you're gonna love these, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab a bowl, we're gonna make our dry rub now. So we're gonna take our herbs, add it to our bowl here. Grab some utensils. We're just gonna follow our quick recipe, okay? we're gonna go 2 tablespoons. A lot of you are probably looking at this rub and like, what are these teas? Why are they different? Things like that, okay? In culinary school, one thing they teach you is how to read over like little recipe changes and things like that. If you've ever seen this in a recipe, a big T is a tablespoon. A little T is a teaspoon, okay? So we're gonna go 2 tablespoons. I use kosher salt. Compared to iodized, I think it's a much, much better salt to use for your foods. Okay, we're gonna go 1 teaspoon of coarse black pepper. Really, you can use whatever kind of pepper you want. If you've got a fine ground, a steak ground kind of pepper, you go with that. Okay, I'm gonna add a smoked paprika just to kind of give it a little bit of an extra color and this little smokiness behind the entire thing, okay? Regular paprika works great, and we're only gonna be adding just 1/4 teaspoon, okay? Paprika goes a long way. Now, we're gonna take our dry rub, we're gonna get it all mixed up, and we're gonna use the same exact rub, guys, here for our potatoes and our onions and for our chicken, okay? So, we're gonna take our potatoes and our onions. We're gonna add some olive oil. Overall, I'm probably adding, I would say about a 1/2 tablespoon here of oil. Sorry about that. Okay, we're gonna give it a nice sprinkle. Get it in a bowl, start tossing it, okay? You'll be able to tell if you need more seasoning or not, a lot from the herbs, okay? You want all of it to be nicely covered, and you'll be able to see that kind of paprika break down in the onions and the potatoes, and it's gonna have this little bit of a red hint to it, okay? That's where you know your seasoning is gonna be good, is once you know everything's nicely covered. So I'm gonna add just a touch more. All right, we're looking pretty good there, okay? So I'm gonna set this off to the side now, so now we can worry about our chicken. So what I wanna do here, open up this area a little bit. Bring over our chicken quarters. I'm just gonna lay these out here, okay? Now, like I said, guys, chicken quarters are the leg and the thigh still attached as one piece, okay? A tremendous thing. I absolutely love chicken quarters, mostly because dark meat is my favorite thing on the chicken. And I think they just cook so absolutely wonderfully. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna wash my hands real quick. And then what we're gonna do is basically just the exact same thing that we just did with those potatoes and the onions, okay? We're not gonna really about breaking these down. We'll cover that in a later video. And it's still very simple. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna give these a light coating in oil, put them onto our sheet tray, mix in the potatoes, onions kind of scattered around it, and then we're gonna cook, okay? So, just a light drizzle of oil on here. Okay, give it kind of a nice little rub in, get it covered. I'm gonna go ahead and flip these over and kind of get both sides on it with that oil, okay? This is just gonna kind of help everything stick just a little bit, okay? I'm gonna start with the bottom, mostly because I'm gonna flip it over and a little bit of the seasoning is gonna come off. So what I want to happen is I want that skin, I want all of that to get like the most paprika, herb, things like that I can get on top of it, okay? So I'm gonna start with the bottom of the chicken where you can see the bones and those kinds of things. Okay, we're gonna take our rub and we're just gonna start sprinkling, guys, okay? Don't be afraid to get it all nice and generally covered. Because guess what? You're gonna eat all of it. When it comes to the bones, things like that, Once they're cooked and roasted down, things like that, you can take these bones and make a wonderful little stock out of it. Use 100% of the product if you possibly can, okay? So now we're gonna flip these over, go back into our dry rub here, finish topping off this chicken skin. I don't know about you guys, but my favorite part of a chicken is really the thigh. I think the just general consistency of it is just a lot different compared to the rest of the chicken. That's why I really love chicken quarters. So now that we've got all these seasoned up here, we're gonna take them, get them onto our sheet tray, and we're just gonna go into the oven. Okay, it's not something you're gonna have to sit there, watch, and really stare at. You're not gonna have to get in there, flip it, anything like that. You're just gonna let it cook, all right? So here's what we're gonna do. Remove my oil. Okay, we're gonna lay these out. On my sheet right here, I've got a piece of foil on the bottom just for easy cleanup later on. And then I've got a wire rack, okay? That just kind of gets a good air rotation around your chicken. Kind of helps it cook a little bit faster. And it's just gonna kind of keep your skin, one, from sticking to the bottom, two, just helping it get nice and crispy, okay? So we've got our chicken laid out here. We're gonna grab our potatoes and our onions, and we're just gonna scatter it right around our chicken, guys, okay? It doesn't have to be laid out 100% perfectly here, because guess what? They're all gonna cook down. They're all gonna get nice and crispy. If you've got a wire rack and some of them kind of fall off a little bit, that's okay. We're not worried about these needing to sit on the wire rack, okay? The great thing about this is since this also has the same dry rub, the same herbs, all of those kinds of things, it's just gonna keep releasing more aromatics into your chicken and your potatoes while those onions cook down. It's gonna be a great little thing, guys. Your whole house is just gonna smell wonderful once you get this in the oven, okay? So, we're about all loaded up here. I'm gonna set my bowl down, wash my hands. And now, we just go in the oven, okay? 40 minutes. Once you hit that 40-minute mark, take a temperature on it, see where you're at, and then we'll go from there, okay? Shouldn't be long, guys. All right, guys, so we're at the halfway point right now. We just hit about 20 minutes in the oven at 425. We're just gonna take a look, see how we're doing. Oh, that looks great. All right, so you can see the skin starting to get a nice little golden crisp to it. Still got that kind of red hue from our paprika, our potatoes, our onions. You can start seeing some color on them. So we're gonna go back in the oven. Still about another 20 minutes to go, and then we're gonna be all set, guys, okay? See you soon. Okay, guys, so we've got our chicken quarters, our potatoes, and our onions. Everything is looking really nice, okay? We just pulled it out of the oven. Got to give it a couple minutes to rest, let that temperature kind of carry over, and then we're going to be all set. We'll be ready to plate up, okay? Okay, guys, so that covers a pretty basic chicken quarter recipe. Some potatoes, some onions, nice little dry rub. Use it for anything. Use it for just a simple chicken breast. Put it on your eggs. It's a great little thing, especially with having fresh herbs. They go with just about anything, guys. So tell me what you guys think. We'll be back soon to do another one, okay?